Sun is shining, let's get out. See you smiling, makes me smile.
Hello, I'm Taree808 and welcome to Mendoza's Corner. We will spend 5 minutes each week discussing a topic related to the queer community. We'll define the topic, give you some cool facts about it, then provide some of our thoughts. This week's topic is colonization of Blackness. The Webster's definition of queer is differing in some ways from what is usual or normal. Odd, strange, weird is also relating to or characterized by sexual or romantic attraction that is not limited to people of a particular gender identity or sexual orientation. There is a belief that queer and homosexual identities are Western-based and introduced to Africa by Europeans, but that idea is not based in fact. If you study the history of Africa pre-colonization, you'll find that the African culture has queer practices weaved throughout time. Stephen O. Murray and Will Roscoe provided a historic deep dive into African sexuality in their book Boy Wives and Female Husbands. The book discusses several topics around alternative gender identities among the Swahili, woman-to-woman marriages, and the cross-dressing and practice of feminine-coded activities of the Serembavi. There has even been a queer king. In the Bugandan kingdom in current-day Uganda, King Magwen II was openly gay and was revered by his subjects until Christian church arrived in Africa and condemned all queer practices and lifestyles. The earliest documentation of queer relationships in Africa was from British anthropologist E. Evans Pritchard, who studied the Azande people in current-day Democratic Republic of Congo in 1930. As more queer relationships were documented from the European perspective of heteronormative behavior, it was demonized through the lens of Christianity and added to the dialogue of anti-Blackness. For the African nations and tribes, this was normal traits and behaviors, but for the Europeans, it confirmed the belief that Africans were primal and in need of saving through colonization and religion. Today, queer Africans are still fighting for a voice to be recognized and to be protected. African LGBTQ people continue to fight for their rights in South Africa, Kenya, Zimbabwe, Uganda, and other nations due to the ingrained Christian principles and the rejection of pre-colonial practices that are not heteronormative, even though the nations are under African political control. In Kenya, sexuality is politicized along with ethnicity and religion. The divide comes from the Pentecostal form of Christianity prominent in Kenya and creates the feeling of otherness to those that do not fall within the model citizen ideology of a Christian nation. The model labels a person as un-Kenyan or not a true Kenyan citizen if you do not fall within it. The idea of the queer identity being a European trait erases people of color in many ways. It erases Black queers from having a queer experience outside of whiteness. As we have discussed, the queer identity has been traced from historic African kingdoms to modern-day African countries and tribes. We are always taking suggestions on topics for future episodes. Feel free to share with us a queer topic that you would like for us to cover in 5 minutes or less. You can either comment or send us an email to info@iTiMiNak.com. Until next week.
Woohoo!